record this. And then the first thing I'm going to do, oh, Morgan Freeman's head. Let's see. Here we go. All right. So there's three packs of papers, right? There is the listing agreement where you establish, this is more for Ryan and he's not even there. There he is. There he is.
I'm
So
just
you're good. So I'm going to talk about the three parts. Listing agreement and all this paperwork here, or this is the buyer, but listing paperwork establish agency with the seller. Buyer is the paperwork and establish the agency with the buyer. Then in the middle, you put these two together, and that's where the standard agreement of sale and different, um, addendums come. So I'm just going to start with the buyer contracts here. Katie, I'm not sure what they, or Caitlin, I'm not sure what they needed out there. Here you do need the consumer notice. You need this for everybody. You do anything with Ryan, it's just kind of like a disclosure saying, hey, agents, this is what an agent does. This is who an agent is. It's kind of a stupid paper. But anyways, that needs to be signed on everything. The next thing is establishing, I'll open it up. All right, open it up and show it to you. And I can walk, whenever you guys get to offer time, I can walk you through this. But just the consumer notice, this is not a contract. So if anybody, I don't want to sign it, it's not a contract. So it just establishes sellers, buyers, dual designated agent, says who everybody is, sign on the bottom. It's pretty easy standard. Our exclusive buyer agency contracts. This is where you establish agency, see how much you're going to get paid, all that good stuff. And Ryan, we have templates set up for this, so don't worry about having to fill out everything because we'll have templates set. But this just says who the company is, who I am. And then here's where you'll establish the buyer agency. Now, you only have to put the name in here. They don't care about the address, phone number, any of that stuff. You know, because you should have that through records. Click no. It's between broker and buyer. They don't have any other agreements with any other buyer agencies. No. The contract, and this is where it starts the timeline of the contract. This contract starts when signed by buyer and broker. So I did just leave it blank because it's the date of the agreement. And then here is where you put where it ends. Usually you can get a full year on it. I might just put it out 6 months. Just slap a date in there, but you can only go out one full year from today. Does it make sense? So that's how you establish a time frame. And then it goes down into the money portion. So one thing that came out of that August, so I never used to charge this much. I'd put like 2,500 minimum and stuff like that on there. So one thing that came out of that August 17th change is that let's say they're offering a $4,000 flat fee, but you said your minimum that you're willing to take is 3,000 or 2,500. You cannot collect that extra amount. It's because that's not your agreement. So I try and put this high, and then just explain to them, hey, we can always go down off this. Or usually it's being offered by the seller. And if that's not the case, I'll bring it to your attention before we make any offers or do anything. So I always tell them that. But 3% or 4,000, some of them are a flat fee up at $4,000 in there. And then this is for you. This is all profit. You can put, some people do 295, 395, 795. I do 590. You can do whatever you want to. I think they put a 5 on there just so it looks like it's actually like a fee if you put $500 on there. I don't know why they do the 595. Like it's just something I've done for 10 years. You can put any amount you want in here. So,
so you
and
get
then
that
that's
4,000 no matter what.
a minimum of $4,000. And so if they only offered, let's say it was $100,000 property and they were like, hey, I'm going to, the CBC on it's 2,500. I'd probably just take the 2,500 and the 595 that I'd collect off them. Because if not, they're going to have to bring an additional $1,500 to the table. So this just sets the max, and then you can go down off of that.
All right.
If you get the full $4,000, it's more power to you. Go get it.
Right.
And then you don't need to worry about any of this. This is in case there's a lease. So if they decide to lease a property instead of buy one, that's in there. Some people don't even put that in there. It's up to you. Really nothing else on this. You can read all this if you want to. Buyer inspection just kind of goes through the legalese of it. And then you get to the bottom here and that's it. The lead-based prank brochures are like the stupidest thing. I just send this with them. You don't, anyways, just there's no signature needed on that. The lead-based paint disclosure form is right after that. This is where you put you know, your address and stuff. So lead-based paint, seller, and it's from 1970. Ryan, this is for you. So 1978. Let me say 79. 79 and newer, you have to have this, or 79 and older, you have to have this form. If it's built in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, you do not have to have this form. Okay, it's just for when lead-based paint, they quit making it or whatever back in 1978. So that's the date. Um, and then whenever you fill this out, seller has no knowledge, or seller has no knowledge is typically what it is. The only way they really have knowledge of lead-based paint is if they did a test. I have never had one person that's done a test. So it's usually the first check, seller's no knowledge, seller's no records, and then you sign. That's basically it. Come down to
Nothing
the
they can
bottom, put your, go ahead.
that's plaza, right?
What's that?
I mean, there's nothing really they can do about the lead paint.
No, it's considered an environmental thing that cause your pregnant women, lead poisoning officers. So here's all the risks of it, and basically, which is interesting because like we have a lot of shit, I can't think of it. Asbestos. We have asbestos and everything. They don't make you sign anything for
Yeah,
that. So
and you have to
um,
like eat this, don't you? You have to eat lead paint, really. It's not just from being in the house. You have to like,
right, yeah, it has to be exposed. So people encapsulate it, which means they just paint over top of it and it's fixed. Like, you know, so Um, so yeah, I mean, this is just like a formal letter you got to put in here, but that you're disclosing you don't know anything about lead-based paint. It's the stupidest thing, but it'll be in there as part of your required documents. And you do need this here. This just says that other agencies might make money off of this. It's a AB ABAD, affiliated business agreement disclosure. So this just says that other people might make money. It's just something to get they have to sign. It's kind of dumb. Uh, and the buyer broker. So this is a new one that came out of our August lawsuit. So compensation disclosure by buyers brokers. I put their name on here, and then what I'd put here, my minimum amount to real would be 3%. You know, so it takes that money that you put in the contract and puts it real clear on one page for them. So it just minimum amount to real is 3%. Sign. That's it. So it just lets them know that there is a minimum amount due to us. That's all it is. I don't see the disclosure here. And then you need a oil, gas, mineral rights disclosure, even if it is in the middle of town. It's like something in the middle of town. Who cares, right? Uh, and like I said, there's templates, Caitlin, for all this. Ryan, I can get you templates on all this stuff. So, um, and then this just discloses oil, gas, mineral rights are real big here. You go to like Philadelphia area over there, they don't even have these forms, so they don't even use them over there. This just says the mineral rights, whether or not, usually it's blank. Like if they want to keep, they're getting gas money in and they want to keep it, you know, if they're getting like regular payments, they click here and just put reserve. It just means they're not transferring. Or if they aren't owned, like XTO buys a whole bunch of oil, gas, mineral rights in the area and they're never, like the owner doesn't even own them to pass them, right? And they're already gone. So this is where you check here. So I was aware the following coal, gas, mineral rights service have been previously leased. So you just click which one. So it's usually like all of them. X. And if you know who it is, XD or you know, or whatever it is. And that's if they even know. If they don't worry about it. And then this is the other box that's important. Seller either is aware or is not aware of a lease affecting subsurface rights. And then it says if seller is aware, do they have a copy? Um, usually these are, you don't really need to deal with any of this. Surface damages, you have to look at the leases, typically no. Those are all, I mean, those are really outside of the norm, these ones that I'm talking about right now. But for a normal thing, you basically just go through, hit no, 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 don't fill out anything, no, no, no. It just says, are you aware of any covenants, conditions? This is all about your oil, gas, mineral rights, basically. And if there's nothing going on, just hit no, no, no. This is how to look on a normal one that they're just transferring. They aren't reserving anything. There's nothing leased. That's basically what you do. They're not aware of, where'd it go?
now are we sitting down with them while we're filling this out, or is this something we send to them to fill out?
No, we fill it out. So a lot of times you ask them, say, hey, do you have the oil, gas, mineral rights? What's the story with those? On a normal house like downtown or something, don't even, I mean, you don't really need to worry about it. You might ask them. It is on the deed. I can show you how to pull deeds to see if there's anything on there. The owners will typically know. So there's the house and then the oil, gas, mineral rights. So just bring it up when you're talking to them. Hey, do you own those? What's going on with those? Some people want to reserve them, meaning I want to keep these, even if they're not paying, I want to keep them. And it hurts your sale a little bit. People are real weird about that. They want to own the ground underneath them, you know. Some people don't care. Some people get real weird about it.
Well, with all
So,
the money they're giving out, you know.
right. It's a little low these days. I got 11 acres. We get like 150 maybe a month or something. So,
I
so for you guys want to show me how or show you how to send this for signatures, or do you want to just go to the next part?
I'd like to go to the next part if we can.
Yeah, fly through, Caitlin. So I can help you with this, Ryan. This is going to be quick. So again, this is just, and again, these are all there's templates for these, Ryan. So don't worry about it. Consumer notice, buyer agency agreement. That's the most important part of it. The rest of it can be caught up with. Do you want to, Caitlin? Do you want to go into the listing part, or do you want to go into agreement of sale?
The listing,
Okay.
please. Sorry, I'm keeping myself on mute because I'm sitting in the lobby of my kids' school while they're in classes.
You're
So I
fine.
don't want any background noise picking
You're
up.
good. So when you come in here, which I don't know what you guys use, Ryan. Oops. Oops, shit. New transaction, new listing. And I usually put who, like Sadler or Caitlin, or whatever it is on there. If you do know the MLS number, let's say we're going to write, well, this is for a listing, never mind. Residential. If you are writing an offer, you know the MLS number, it'll pre-fill a lot of the stuff if you click there and then put the MLS number in here. But for a listing, then you go down to My Templates. You can set your own buyer packet with your name. I can help you with that. Here's my listing packet, or you can just click on mine and change the name and license number. Consumer notice. Always that stupid consumer notice is on everything, so it should be your first thing. Listing contract. Establishes the price and agency for you and your sellers. So again, it's kind of the same look, right? Here's the company, here's the agent, here's the info. No, they don't have a listing, they don't have an agreement with somebody else. Here's your listing price, um, address. It's all pretty self-explanatory. Zip. Municipality. This is where you find this. Let me show you real quick. So if you go into where you go into tax records, it's nice if there's an old listing because you can just go off the old listing. But if not, let's see. I was just looking at this house this morning. So we'll use this one as an example. This is the taxes that you're going to go off of, and you're basically just kind of looking, taking a deep dive on the house and looking at the taxes on it. Okay. So what you're looking for. All right. So municipality, Shakora, PA, right there. Easy stuff. City, borough. I think it's Garden City. Caitlin, you probably got away from the boroughs and townships now when you're in Myrtle Beach. I can't stand those. This is the first place that's ever had townships. It's like if you're in Butler, you're in Butler, not in 15 different townships. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
crazy. I've
Western
never
PA is
experienced it
so
like this.
weird.
Yeah, I've never experienced it like this. It's crazy. Here we go. Township. So if you go to, let me show you guys how to get here. On your MLS form here, you go to tax, realist search is right here, or you can just hit realist tax. And it's basically an even deeper dive on what you're doing. But there we go. Fairview Township. County. We know this is in Butler County. School district. Garden City Area School District. See, it's all right here for you. Plug and play. Zoning. I mean, we kind of know this is res. It's always residential unless there's something weird with it, like an office or something. Present use, res, current none. Don't worry about any of that. And then this is where you get the tax number, tax information. That's what it looks like right there. It's just one with the dashes. I don't know what any of this means, but It's like a book number and something. So that's basically what you need to enter in there. Nothing crazy. You just need to put the actual details. Like this is the property social security number kind of, right? Terms, it starts today, goes through, I mean, sometimes I just do that, click out a bunch, call it a day. Broker fee is 3% of the purchase price, or I guess I could change that to 4,000. You can put whatever you want to in here, seriously. It's your fees. It's your business. You set it up how you want. This is, so I've seen this, I've heard of this one time. Basically, what it is you list the house, you take a percentage of this down payment. So let's say, okay, 1,500. They give you 1,500. If it expires and doesn't sell, you keep that 1,500. It's hard to talk people into this. Just so you know, I haven't tried. But you keep the 1,500 if it doesn't sell. Now, if it does sell, it's just credited against what they owe you. That's a non-refundable. So this is about the hand money deposit. So they put like $3,000 down hand money. The agent did work. I sometimes just let my buyer, because the seller is always all pissed at you, you know, because the deal terminated and now they have to release the hand money. This is the agents usually take half of that hand money, $1,500, $1,500 on 3,000. I find the sellers are always pissed off though, so I just let them have it and try and resell it, you know, full $3,000. But this just states how much of their hand money. So you're the seller, the buyer's buying something, they'll put a deposit down. And basically, if they fail, they keep the deposit. You're saying, I'm getting part of that. You can put 0, you can put whatever you want to. 50% is the norm, though. This is where you put how much you're offering. Wait a second. This is wrong. So this is the full broker's amount. Okay, full broker's amount. So let's do 6%. Sorry, I effed up on that. So it's the full 6% as the broker fee. And then you come down here and you put how much you're sharing. Okay, cooperating compensation offered to brokers working with buyer. So if it's 6%, we can do 2.5 and 3.5, but usually it's nice just to do 3 and 3. And then that way it shows here that the seller knows they're giving 3% of that 6% to the buyer's agent. Okay.
Who holds that money? Hand
Usually,
money?
usually a title agency or the brokerage.
And then they would release the 50% to you.
You got to get some forms signed to get the release done, but yes. So you'd get a check for 1,500, and then they get a check for 15, depending on how much the hand money is. A lot of times it's like 2,500. They're pissed that it's terminating anyways, and they're like, at least I get my hand money. Well, I get part of it. The conversation never goes well. So, this just says that they're willing to give sellers assist. If they say no, I don't want to give that. This just says we're willing to give concessions or not. I leave these blank. These are pretty easy. Like you just have to do this one. First page is the tough one. Put how much you're giving the buyer agent. Keep coming down. Just keep coming down. A lot of junk in here. Broker will use an MLS to advertise. Some sellers do not want to use an MLS. Or, Caitlin, let's say that you have somebody like, I want to list like in April, right? Okay, that's great. Let's sign now and we'll have it ready to go. So you can sign them and then check here. Broker will not use an MLS to advertise property. So you have it listed as that's how you make a pocket listing. Okay, that's how you do a pocket listing and don't put it on the MLS. You can send this out to your database like I do. I don't know if you guys get my email. Probably don't. I have an investor list. And anything coming on the market 3 days before, I send it out to them. Anything that's like cash offered, like Corey's on it, I'll send out like investor stuff. And you can send that all to your database. You just can't put it on the MLS and you can't advertise it on like Facebook and social media. But pocket listing, regular listing. This is just if they get weird and they don't want it on the internet. I don't want the address listed or property displayed on the internet. You know, most of them are fine with that, obviously. This is where you get refrigerator, stove, yada, yada. If for some reason, this comes up periodically, excluded fixtures. Fixtures means they go with the house, but excluded means they're going to tell this is something. This usually comes about if antique chandelier and kitchen, or something like that's attached to the property, but they want to take it with them. You put it in here. Like a chandelier is the biggest one, like some fancy chandelier in the kitchen. It's usually the biggest one we'll see. But that's just making sure everybody knows they want to take something with them. Nothing there. This is where you put your property taxes. Again, coming back to realist 2024. There you go. Property assessed value, you just go to the top. Assessed value total. No, it's nothing weird. No HOA. If there's an HOA, you put it in here. It's not a foreign investment. Still will give full rights ownership. If they want to keep the oil, gas, mineral rights, this is where you check, saying that they're going to keep it. See, it says they're going to give it to them, accept. I don't fill out their mortgage. I don't like what you can fill it out. I don't fill out any of this financial crap. Buyer financing. I'll accept cash, conventional loan, FHA, or VA. So I don't know why you wouldn't check all those unless it's like a dump. You just put cash or something on it. Some service fee, like a land addendum, short sale addendum. Nope. Yeah, that's basically it for the I know it's a lot, but like once you pull it up and you start going through it, it kind of prompts you. You can see what you do need to check and what you don't, Broke will use an MLS. So, and again, these are all kind of done on the what is it? These are in the template, so you'll just have it all ready to go.
You use zip form for everything.
Yeah, I do. I let people use it. You can use whatever you want to. So this is the same thing on the disclosure about the listing brokerage. It just puts real clear what's happening. I'm taking 6%, given 3%. Or I'll put 6% plus 595 here. Just spells out real clear what you're getting. And 3% or whatever you're offering there. That's it. You do need to do the affiliated business disclosure on everything. Oil, gas, mineral rights disclosure. So this is, I think I went over this with the buyer one. Or no, I did the addendum. This is the disclosure. You put this out first whenever you pull up. So if I go to the MLS, you'll see. If you go right here, the three things that are always put up is the lead-based paint, oil, gas, mineral rights disclosure, so that they know what's going on with the oil, gas, mineral rights, and then disclosure. We'll go over that next. Seller owns, where all the portion firms. Unknown owner of the following rights, if not seller. You can find all this on the deeds, but no. The same thing. These have been leased already to XTO or whatever. You just put it in there. This is if sellers deciding to keep them. Click here, they're reserving them. Don't worry about that. And then here. This, you'd have to look at the actual lease, but it's usually not like it'd be a specific weird property. Like it'd be a lot of acreage for something like this. So there's surface rights, and so some leases have the ability where they can come onto your property and do stuff. I have 11 acres here, and it's not big enough property that they can do anything on, so they don't have surface rights. Most do not have surface rights. So it's odd if they did. So I usually just do no, no. Seller has no documents, or seller is attached that is good of all written. So this is if they have a lease. This is if they don't. Just read through it. Not aware of any encumbrances. I'm not in a legal action related to oil, gas, mineral rights. Insurance claims, no. No. And then the seller property disclosure. So this, I always tell my sellers, this is the hardest part about selling your home is filling out this damn paper. So it is, I think, 9 pages long, and it's just kind of like a physical that they have to fill out on their house, right? So when was your roof installed? They can put unknown. Do you have documents? Not applicable. Or yes, you can just, they have to fill it out. Just tell them not to lie. If they don't know, don't guess, but just don't lie on it. This is hard to fill out online. I typically drop this off on my first meeting and say, hey, This is going to be the worst part about selling your home. I would start on it now. Whenever I see it next, just have it ready for me. Okay. And then they fill it out by hand because it's a pain to do it on here. They got to like click every single thing, or have them print it out, pick it up. But I usually drop it off with my initial contact with them. I'll bring my listing packet and then a seller's disclosure and say, hey, I'm leaving this. This is the hardest part about listing your home. If they say, hey, I want to list my home, you already have the seller's disclosures, get filling out, right? It's just a pain in the ass. See, it takes forever. And that's basically it for the listing packet. So you have your consumer notice, your listing contract, the brokerage commission disclosure saying how much you're making, the affiliated business, your oil rights and mineral rights disclosure, and then seller's property disclosure. So basically, you have the consumer notice. I always say is like everybody gets it, so it doesn't matter. Consumer notice. The next thing is the actual agreement to make an agency, and then you got all these little disclosures off the backside. So that's basically it. The one thing I will show you too that I do add is a cost sheet, and let me show you how to do that. I don't know why it's not my thing, but these are pretty easy. Let's say 200,000. Keep numbers easy. Broker's fee. I always put the flat fee in first. Seems like it goes over better. Plus 3%. So that'd be 6. Use a calculator, but that's what it is. Preparation of deed. This is almost always like 250. And again, make sure this is an estimated cost. It's not going to be exact, but it's pretty close. Transfer tax is usually 1%. 2,000 is 1% of that. Buyer broker fee. This is where I'll put them. And I used to put these together, but now I separate it to let them know that I'm not making all that money. So if you just put 6% up here, it looks like you're making like $13,000, right? So then you kind of now split these out. Buyer broker fee, and my broker fee. So I like splitting those out a little better so they can see it. Municipal certs, usually 150. That's like your sewer, which Butler doesn't even have it right now, but that's like your sewer, occupancy test, that kind of stuff. Settlement fee, attorneys are usually about 450. Notary fee, $50. Tax certs are 150. And then I put so I don't know what the prorated taxes are going to be. If you save, like I usually have this, I don't know why it's not in there, but this number here and this number here, oh, and this one. So this one, and this one will be the only numbers that change. All the rest of these will be on here. This just goes off of the price. So it's 3% plus the 595 is here. This is 1%, and then this is the buyer agency fee. Other than that, these are all usually the same. 200,000, they're going to walk away with 184,355 ish. So does that make a little bit of sense there?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, that's just easy. I mean, you can go through every single one of these, but those are the property repairs, online system. You don't need a guys survey. This is the one. This is what is pretty standard. And this number usually comes in pretty close, maybe a give or take 1,000 with the taxes.
Are you able to send this recording to me when you're done?
Yeah. The real way you're going to learn is when you're ready to write an offer or ready to do anything. That's when I think people learn the best is when they're working through it. Corey, like I usually do too, like when new agents are going on, I'll say, hey, why don't you write an offer on my house and then send it to me? And I want to see where you've made mistakes. Or why don't you, I can even do that. I'll give you my address if you want, Ryan. I'll give you or just give you an address. You could do a listing agreement on it and say, hey, this is what it'd look like if I was going to list it, sell it. And then we can even do a contract. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Are you available today or tomorrow to do that?
Yeah.
I have to go show that house for Corey real quick.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, what I was telling you is do you have my login for this?
No,
I can give it to you. I can give it to you. But what I was going to do is we can get on here and then I'll kind of do a test for you and see what you F up and then I can see what you know and don't know.
All right, perfect.
Buyer res packet. So I have the agreement of sale in here. Whenever you send over agreement of sale, you're going to need the agreement of sale and then any addendums and then the disclosures. Those three things are it. So you need the agreement of sale, then you need the disclosures. So all these disclosures that you put out here, they need to see them and sign off on them, basically. So I put them to sign here, so that they've seen the disclosures.
I gotta hop off. I gotta go do that.
You're good. All right,
Thank you.
man. Text me later. I'll be around later.
All right,
I'll
thank
send
you.
you my login too, okay?
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, man. All right, Kayla, I'll go quick through this because I know it's getting a little boring. You already know most of this, right? Um,
There's some crossover, but there's
yeah,
some different things.
I'm sure. The oil, gas, mineral rights is always the weird thing up here too.
Hmm.
Same thing. Agreement of sale, buyer, seller, property. I showed you how to find all that, right? Yeah. Buyer,
Yeah.
seller, purchase price, how much they're doing with hand money deposit.
Hmm.
We always put the hand money will be held by the title agency of buyer's choosing instead of the seller's brokerage. So you can let the seller's brokerage hold it if you want to. This is where you put so the CBC being offered. Let's say that somebody's offering 2.5%, but you want to charge them 3. You'd only put 0.5% here. And the reason why is because they're already offering 2.5, and now you're asking for an additional half point. This is your
Okay.
closing cost, settlement date. This is, there's so much you can just go through. This is the date that you want it back by, usually the next day. Zoning, res. Here's where the fixtures and personal property is. I don't know how you guys did it there. I don't even put anything on this one. Shit. Uh, Go to a new listing. So I typically just like copy this,
Mm.
slap it in there. If they want like the washer dryer or something, put it in there. This is for your FHA, the purchase price. So for buying it for 200,000, you just put the purchase price in there. Buyer has received the HUD notice, get a home inspection. This is for a rehab, never use them. This is for a cash. This is for our offer. One thing they'll catch you on is your commitment date. I don't know if you're familiar with those. I just put like 2 weeks before closing. So if it's closing on April 30th, I'll just go like that. That's when I wanted the loan commitment date by. Um, Loan amount, do you know how to do these? I can help you with it. It doesn't matter. So they send over a sheet sometimes, right, that says it, but a lot of times I don't get it or I'm ahead of it, right? So I know conventional loans are typically 5% down. FHA is typically 3.5. VA is 0. So all I do is just take 200,000 minus 5%. Loan amount, let's say it's conventional, right? Be 190,000. Okay, because that's 5%. With 5% down, that's what's left.
Okay.
Okay. Minimum terms, 30 years, type of mortgage, conventional. Loan to value shouldn't exceed 95% because we put 5% down. And I can help you with this, Caitlin. Don't think you got to absorb it. If we get something rolling, I'm more than happy to get on it.
Okay.
This is where you put your loan lender. They're able to back out at this top rate. So let's say the rates change for some reason and the rate goes to 7.9, they can terminate because of this.
Oh,
Not to exceed a maximum interest rate of. So usually they're locked in, but things happen. So
yeah. That's helpful.
this is for your public water, public sewer. If you have interest on a set or have questions on a septic tank, they're literally all spelled out. Notice 1, notice 2. You know what I mean? The
Oh,
definitions are all right here. But normal, it's either public sewer in the city or it's online sewage system number 1 normally. And it's just no person. There's no current existing community sewage system available for the subject property. That's typically out here. Um, so, I mean, there's all the little definitions you can see. There's one for a holding tank.
okay.
There's usually none of these, no land use restrictions. I mean, these are just odd things that usually don't come up. This is where you do your, I'm not sure how you guys did it there, but they either initial, whenever you get it for signing, they initial on one side or the other, either elected or waived.
Mm,
So
that's
these
different.
initial, and then they initial, right? Or whatever. Usually these are the big three: home, pest, and radon, and two and three, and
Okay.
then these are usually waived, but you got to pick one or the other. Um, Down here is just where you can fill out. I usually put an initial into wave just so that nobody can slap anything in there. You don't have to. People
Right.
blank. So the inspections elected above do not apply to the following conditions. I've never used this, but it might be good. Like that house community has a low flow rate, and so that we know the well is effed up, and so I can put does not follow because we already told you it's messed up. So if you already told them it's messed up, why are we? I don't know.
Yeah.
But this is where you can put stuff in there. I usually don't. Maybe I will down the road. I kind of like it. This is 10 days for the inspections to come back. If you need longer, if it's going to be 60 days, you need longer, you can put it in here or whatever. So on a big property, I'll put the oil, gas, mineral rights addendum to it that has acreage. If it's something in the city or something like that, just get rid of that. So you don't have to do it. Nobody cares about the oil, gas, mineral rights in the city.
Okay.
This goes condominiums. And then FHA loans, they have a appraisal addendum built into them, so you don't really need, or an appraisal contingency built into FHA, so you don't need that. But on a conventional loan, you'd want to hit appraisal contingency,
Mhm.
and then this is what that addendum looks like.
Okay.
And you just usually it's always the first one you initial. An appraisal who's not a member will deliver a copy of the appraisal report to seller and buyer will within the terminate the agreement. So this is the one that gives them options to terminate or do whatever. It's just the top one though. Okay.
Okay.
If you do need a home sale contingency, these are different ones. So this is one when they take it off the market. They're like, okay, we'll take ours off the market while you sell yours. That's the first one. This one is, okay, we like your offer. We're going to accept it, but we're going to continue marketing it. And if another offer comes in that's better, we're going to take it and kick you out. So that
Mhm.
I hate those, but it happens sometimes. And then this one here is the time kick out. So they'll say, hey, you only get 1 week to sell your home. If it isn't sold by 1 week, we're terminating the agreement.
Okay.
And if they take their house off the market, we're like, we'll give you a week to get your house or whatever it is, 30 days, whatever it is. But those are the three. And then again, just you add those disclosures on there that they filled out. That's about it for an offer. I can show you one that's come back so you can see like what's in it.
Okay.
It's an offer I wrote. You want to see a contract? Maybe. Well, this is the wrong one. I got this corrected. I mean, it's, yeah, I mean, pretty standard there. I wanted to show you all the documents. Here we go. So this is just all the signed documents come back. Commission, this brokerage, seller estimated closing costs, listing contract, disclosure. So, all kind of the same stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. So I can help you with these whenever we get to do an e-sign or whatever. It's pretty simple. You
Okay.
can either have like these going and have your little prop. See, here's your current, so you can put those in there, go through each one that now they're in there. When you're ready to go hit prepare signing. I'll show you how to do a sign real quick. Great. The only one I don't use this for is that seller's disclosure. It really messes it up.
Oh, the disclosure. Okay.
Yeah, that 9-page disclosure, whatever it is. It's where you put their email address in. If this is an estate, so the son has to sign for her, and you do a custom signature and put Michael. So that way it's signed Michael on Mary's name because it's a POA.
Okay.
What else? Yeah, and see, it kind of pre-fills everything.
Hmm.
The one thing that it doesn't pre-fill is, see how this looks? They have to click on every single one of these to do it on here. It's horrible. I'm going to show you one more thing, then I'll plug it in.
Your screen sharing's fine, but I think you froze.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm going to show you one thing here. The only thing I'm showing you here is something you have to change. Showing the agreement of sale, I think he's already. Oh, I know why. So this is signed already. That's why it's not treating it normal. Sorry. I'm sure I'll help you like whenever we get something going here with an offer. But I just want to show you some real. I got your kiddo in.
Yeah, they're all done with their classes. So now we're just waiting for the next one.
Okay. The only thing I want to show you is just when you load this up for, let's say, signing. It basically on that inspection thing, it puts a signature on each side and it gives them approve or deny. So I usually find, fuck isn't this in here? It's because it's uh so this is a seller filling this out. Anyways, what I'm getting at is usually on a buyer, because this is filling out for the seller. On a buyer, these will both have initial blocks on both sides, and it's different. It's not just a click to initial. When they click on it, it says approve or deny. Okay. And so they have to approve one, deny this side, approve one, deny this side, or deny and approve. What ends up happening is they approve both sides or deny both sides, and they just screw the whole thing
Oh,
up. So I go through and I actually will go through each one of these little things and just delete them, pretend like
okay.
that's up here. I'll delete all of them, every single one of them, and then I'll just go in and because I know what they want to do, and
Hmm.
I'll just put click to sign. You know what I mean? And just have them click one time to sign to
Yeah,
initial instead of them because it gives them a choice. Um, Initial choice, yeah.
that would be confusing.
Yeah, so it gives them a choice to approve or deny it, and they screw it up every time. So I delete all those out of there. Um, yeah, and that's basically it. Do you have
Okay.
my login for this?
No.
I'll send you my login. And then I have some buyers actually I wanted to send over to you for following up on. I just don't know if I'm gonna be able to get to it today, but I got some people that just need followed up. You know, they're looking for a house and one hasn't popped up yet. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's people you can just stay on top of. Um,
Yeah.
all right, cool. All right. Do you have any other immediate questions?
No, not right now.
Get you did you get Lofty set up and everything? Are you doing that?
I was just looking at all the different partner options before
Lo
we got on here.
Yeah, just wait. Partner Lofty's only $40 and it's really powerful CRM. So it's good. It connects to your MLS. You can set people on home searches so it'll automatically send them to them and stuff like that. So
Okay.
yeah. All right. I got a bunch of shit going on today, but I'll get that pack of sorry, kiddos. I'll get those
Oh, I can't hear you.
okay. I'll get a buyer list for you. Some people to start working if you want. And then sign up for like Home Light and all those too, okay? If you
Okay,
have it.
yeah.